Yeah, so like I was saying in the last video, they ended up moving me. I'm now. I gotta be. Waiting on this transfer maybe a year and a half. They breaking the pod up. They already been mass transferring. Now they're moving us to other pods on the compound to fill in different sales units, whatever. So I'm devastated, but at the same time, no choice in the matter. It's pack it up and go where they tell you to go, do what they say, or else they have a remedy for you. So um, you can't show it. You got to keep everything bottled up. Keep your head up, stand tall with all the confidence in the world, even though you don't know what you're going into. Anyway, I make it into a different pod on the same side of the yard. So this particular day, I only had been in the pod maybe a few days. So all these COs and all these nurses, that's something you don't want to see, because you like, whoa, what is going on? But I never seen this many nurses, with this amount of COs. Usually when they come like this, somebody getting hurt. And that's just what it is. But with all the nurses, that's what threw me off. So, me and my son laughing, joke. I'm like, we talking, whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna stay away from this door, because it's a thing. When you at Red Onion Wine in the mountains, you at that door, some of them like to target you. Because they like, oh, what you being nosy? What you up to something? What are you doing on the door? Like, and that just something small at Red Onion turns to something big. Like, in the blink of an eye. Like, I done seen it happen a million times. Like, um, so my tray slot drop on my cell. Boom. So I turn and look. I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm like, what's going on? So the nurse called my last name. So I'm like, yes, ma'am. So she was, I'm here to do your physical for the kitchen. I was like, oh, it must be a mistake, ma'am. Well, you must have me mixed up with the wrong um individual. I never put in for the kitchen. I'm waiting on the transfer to get off of here shortly. So I tell her this in a polite, respectful way. She was like, oh, okay, no problem. Look at her little paperwork and leave. Mark something and leave. So you don't think nothing of it. I go to the door, I look out, and they go into a whole lot of different cells, these nurses. I'm like, what? I'm baffled. I'm still fresh in the system, only a few years now, so I'm like, oh, I never seen nothing like this. So, I'm watching TV, laying on my bed, watching TV. Next thing you know, my door slide open. And when that happened up there, like that, no call on the intercom, like that happened, I'm like, what is going on? So when I go to the door and peep out, it's a bunch of COs coming up the steps, going to different cells and stuff. They come to my cell, they turn around, turn around. So I turn around or whatever. They was like, get on your knees, get on your knees. I'm like, man, what the? So you have to do what they say. So I get on my knees. So they say my last name as they're cuffing me. And they knew exactly who they was coming to get. They got face cards. They come straight and get you. So they put me in handcuffs, take me out the cell. I only had boxers on, um, my shower shoes on, and a t-shirt on. It's freezing cold outside at the time. So they march me right to segregation, solitary confinement. So I'm baffled. They coming across the yard. I see other dudes from my pod. They coming with handcuffs. So they lock me up in the cell, whatever, same routine, make you get on your knees or degrade you, make you strip butt naked, yell at you, all that stuff, bend over, squat and call. I just all kind of stuff to degrade you, make you feel less than human. So I know the routine, I do it, I comply. So the door shut. I'm just standing at the door, like, man, like inside, you just like, you like crushed inside. So I'm like, man, I'm all this stuff going through my mind. Like, I can't believe I'm here. All the negative talk. I'm gonna die here. I'm never leaving Red Onion. What's the point of them classes, programs with a life sentence? It don't matter if you're doing right. I'm trying to think of all the stuff in the world. What could I have done to leave me here? And I could think of nothing. Because, I would stay in my cell, wouldn't even go to Park Rec just to stay out there way when certain officers working. I would start taking pages out of old head books around me. Like, I'll keep myself in this cell, when I know what could be waiting out there for me. I would write a letter, watch TV, stuff like that. Might clean the cell, keep me busy. To kill that Park Rec time and enjoy the time there by myself without my cellie in there. So, but going to segregation is just a different feeling. It's like, what? I ain't did nothing wrong. But so finally, an officer comes to the door from out there, worked my old part, and he like, what in the? He looking confused. So nobody telling us nothing. You been out knocking that door and ask no questions up there, neither. So I knew what I had to do. I laid back on the bunk, didn't even make it. I just laid back on the bunk, just laid looking at the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Wondering what I got myself into. So after a couple hours go by, right? They done processed me fully in segregation, gave me all my, the little bare minimum you can have in there, whatever and all. So a few hours later, I'm thinking it's ready to be dinner trays or whatever. When they came and got us, it was around maybe about 11-ish, Now it's probably, I don't even know in segregation, you can't see the time, couldn't tell by the outside, I didn't know what was going on. So it had to be around dinner time, I'm thinking. They tell me, put these clothes on and get dressed. I'm like, what? The tray slide drop, clothes, get dressed? I'm like, what is going on here? So I hurry up and get dressed, even though I'm having them thoughts, looking puzzled, but I'm getting dressed. I ain't feeling puzzled. So he like, yeah, you going back to your cell, snatch my stuff off the wall as if he mad about it and stuff, whatever. So when I get back to the cell, my cellie, who was a houseman, had overheard some officers talking, and they was like, this is why it's important to know your laws, know your rights, even though you're inside, you really don't have them. I'm just being honest. But it's good to know your rights, to know what they can do in a situation like this. They were short workers, and a lot of the men who was left on red lane didn't meet the criteria to work in the kitchen. So until they could get a load of cadres up there, which they were working on a cadre unit or the pod up there for the cadres, and they was totally, a whole low levels. They would do all the work on the institution. Like, they totally isolated in their own world at Red Onion. So they working there, they're not, at Red Onion. So it was whenever in an institution, that's why they say, man, slavery still exists, especially when you're incarcerated, you don't have no rights, and they say you have rights. If there is a shortage of workers, they can come get you out your cell and say, hey, you're gonna work or segregation. And that's a fact. You can look it up. They were short workers. They recruited a bunch of us who's already in for transfers. Like I told you, a bunch of people in my pod was already waiting to go. Some levels lower than others. So they recruited a bunch of us to work in the kitchen without even telling us. See, they supposed to inform us. See, they just came to our door. Oh, I'm here for your physical, all nice. And as soon as we said no to the physical or said, no, this is a misunderstanding, maybe it's somebody else, they took us and said, no, it wasn't supposed to go like that. Thankfully, this particular day, it was some people that worked at Red Onion on this shift and who was in charge. Some woman was in charge of, I forgot her title, but she worked in the front, went and signed off on it because she said it wasn't done right. We had to been told first. She's not just gonna sign off on all us who've been waiting on transfers for years, been in no trouble. No, so the Angels Universe something was with us that this lady was working, because usually at Red Onion they don't stand up for you. They don't. If they say all them in segregation, they refuse to work, that's the end of it. Stamp, you done. You fried and cooked. They will transfer out of here, you stuck. And that's what it was. Luckily, we got saved that they took back to the cell. And the next day, a lady did come around with the nurse and with all the officers, and was like, look, it's a short of workers. You're in for a transfer. We're gonna pay you. You're gonna get the regular pay. You know, we don't get nothing extra, but we get the regular pay as the worker, kitchen workers, and you know, this will go towards our annual review, like all of that type credit. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, I don't want to work in no damn kitchen. No, like I never signed up because I never wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So this was something totally new to me. So of course I could apply, yes ma'am, no problem. Thinking in my mind, like, you know, I work in the kitchen for a little while, boom, it's over, it's done, I'll be out of here. So I agreed, signed the paperwork. Um, that was a life lesson for me in prison. Like they say you have rights and all that, you don't, you know, and that showed that slavery do exist because we didn't want to work. They forced us to work in there. We had to work from 3 in the morning and we didn't get off till sometimes 6 in the evening. You know, it's like we was working long hours for 27 cents an hour. You know, so it was